it's another fucking white guy with a YouTube channel telling about gaming news. Ooh. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be the first facecam video of FIGHTBIT gaming news. Escape from Tarkov developers are saying that they have planned no female character models. This is not a recent development. One of their developers, Pavel Dyatlov, already said this in 2016 in an interview with WCCF Tech. The interview goes mostly on about how Tarkov is a high-risk, high-reward, hardcore first-person shooter, and as we have seen with the development of Tarkov and how it's still in beta, I think, despite this being back in 2016, but yeah, it's a game that's really growing before its quote-unquote actual release, and it has an insanely deep weapons customization. And relevant to the topic of this video, according to the Gamepedia wiki, that's the one I've found and went through, there's about 80 items of clothing slash actual tactical gear, which wouldn't then need to be changed for having female player models. So the thing is, the developers back then said that the reason was because it's not realistic to have females in a war zone like this. Now, you could say that women are fighting on the front lines. You have Kurdish YPG rebels women, you have several, you have a long history of female enlisted soldiers like the Night Witches, you have female snipers, you have the Belie Kolgotki, you have frontline troops like you have frontline troops like that woman who's the movie G.I. Jane is based on. So yeah, it's not totally unrealistic to have women fighting on the front lines of a war. However, when you look at the grand total of men and women in numbers, there are basically no women in combat. I am assuming that's the angle that Battlestate Games, at least back then, through the words of my Pavel Dyatlov took. Now they have later said that this employee was reprimanded. I don't even think he works there anymore. I'm not sure about that. So what's been going on later is that somehow in 2016 this wasn't an issue, but now 4 years later this is suddenly an issue, and Battlestate Games has reiterated that they have no plans of adding female character models. But the reasons they are stating now is it would make development more difficult, it would add a lot of more work, which is dubious reasons as how, at least according to the developers that Upper Echelon Gaming talked to, Upper Echelon Gaming made a video where he about this same topic, and he brought up very, very important points, like the Assassin's Creed developers said that for their multiplayer they wouldn't add female models because it would double the workload. Then the next Assassin's Creed game, they suddenly had 2 player characters, 1 male, 1 female, and it suddenly wasn't an issue because they decided to take up the challenge and be honest with themselves that it wasn't that big of a deal really. But another thing is that Escape from Tarkov has a story centered around the playable character who is named Arno. Arno is canonically in-game a man. Sure, it could add a non-canonical option of a female Arno and just have a switch male player model, female player model. But we also shouldn't rob Battlestate Games of the option of telling the story they want to tell. For example, if you look at the early 2000s stealth game Velvet Assassin, which is based on a female British spy and very loosely based on her efforts during the war in World War II. And what she did, nobody played that game and said this game would have been better with a male player character. The developers of that game, which were Polish if I'm not mistaken, said that they wanted to tell this specific story centered around this specific character, which is a female. Now, the issue that Battlestate Games has is that that's not the approach they took. The approach they took was it's unrealistic and it's more work. So they have legitimate grounds for not adding it, but they are unfortunately defending it with the shittiest arguments they have. As stated earlier in my GTA 6 possible female player character video, I personally don't mind it if a main character is male or female. Some games have a story that requires a certain gender, or the gender doesn't matter, but the developers just wrote, we want this character to be this way. When a developer creates a game and they create a story, they have certain things they want to omit. So as I said earlier, as I said in my GTA 6 female player character video, if I had to play GTA San Andreas as the lumpy fat white guy that I am, the game would be totally different. I don't do drive-bys, I don't shoot hoops, I don't ride lowriders. So sometimes a developer has decided they want to tell a story from a certain perspective, and they want to tell the story of Arno, who is an Eastern European man in this setting. But what do you think about this? Do you think that the developers are going about it completely wrong way? Do you think that the developers are totally right in their justification? Do you think that they should still add a female player character model? I would be interested in hearing your opinion. So that's this for this story. Follow me on Twitter at FIGHTBIT News. What the fuck is my Twitter? I made a Twitter account just for this channel. Motherfucking technology. Yeah, so follow me at FIGHTBIT News is the name of the channel I have. Twitter account. Channel is YouTube, Twitter's account. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at FIGHTBIT News. Subscribe, like the video. If you didn't like it, dislike the video. If you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. If you agree with me, I wouldn't mind if you said it in the comments. This is my first attempt at a facecam video. This is a very new thing for me, so any feedback would be very much appreciated. Do note that this is still very early for me. Goodbye.